Hey everybody, welcome to this artwork review video. So I hope everyone's seen the interview with Rachelle from yesterday. And now I'm going to talk about the artwork everybody sent in. So you can send me in weekly your artwork and then I can give some feedback on it. So this is from Tamas. And these are really cool color sketches. So awesome. Maybe some kind of things I can say about it. So I like this foreground element. So if I would add this rock, I wouldn't place it like exactly on this edge. I would maybe make it more like it's going past. So it's behind this here. And I wouldn't show the shadow because it looks like the shadow is from this, but this is in the distance. So how can this be shadow? So it just have this green sunlight on it. Really like this. You could even make this hang more. So like it's pulled down by gravity. You can look up some reference on internet. So I've been to Ireland, and there they had these rocks out of the sea, like this here, and then they had these bridges to these stones. So it can be really useful to look at those stairs. And bridges. I would also add a bridge here because how do they get from this one to this one? And it even also feels like they are all on the same height. So maybe you can make this one lower. So like this. And then this one here. And you put this one really high. Maybe there's like something going on here or something. So I would try to play around a bit with I like that you have this small shape, medium shape, and big shape. So that maybe you can play a bit around with the locations of those shapes. Maybe you can put this one a bit higher than this one here. Or maybe this one here. And now I'm just searching more. So maybe something like this. I don't know, playing around with the placement of those things. This looks really cool because I really like that this is in the foreground. So maybe let this rock overlap this rock as well, like here. Then we have this rock, I like it. And then there's also this kind of angle in it. And then, yeah, this just looks really great. Maybe this is a bit in the middle. So maybe you can play around a bit with that, making it more like this. So oftentimes I'm avoiding these symmetrical shapes that are the same. So I think if we divide this here, this is a bit too symmetrical. Could work, but maybe you can try to find a shape that's a bit less symmetrical. So playing around with those shapes. I think I would play around with maybe here smaller shape, and then here the big shape. Something like that. Maybe this one goes out screen, maybe something like this. I don't know, but I would try to break that symmetry, and that's what I like more about this one. So great work, Tomas. So let's go to Dana. So great that you use these construction shapes. However, what I would suggest to you is to try a bit more loose. So try to maybe sketch a bit more like this. So try to be more loose. Maybe it can also work. Maybe try it out on paper in your sketchbook. Maybe here these eyes. If he needs to be angry, so how can we make him more angry? I think we can try to push this expression more. Here, this jaw, like this here. And then this ear. You got this really tiny ear here, so watch out for that. So then this eyebrows, and this one a bit up. And then let them maybe just a quick sketch. But I'm trying to be a bit loose. So here, this nose, it seems the nose is a bit flat. So try to think about how is this nose constructed. So how does it goes in the depth? So try to think about how that nose is constructed. I've made some nose tutorials. I'm hoping, yeah, I think it's something like this. So that you're using these kind of shapes so you can think in 3D. So here we have this part. And this mouth. So this mouth is on this face. So if he pushes this part up, it moves up his cheek. So you would see that at the eye. So now this jawline doesn't work more. So I think somewhere here. We have this ear. So, and I'm still working on this sketch, and I'm also still searching. But what I would love to see is that you try drawing a bit through and try to be more neat. So he's, how angry is he? Is he super angry or just a bit? So I like this pose. But if he's doing something like this, then maybe I would imagine that his hand, and can be that you don't see it here in this pose, but that he's maybe doing something like this. He's making his fist like this here. So here. So sitting on a table or something. One thing I can also give you, so it's great to see that you're using here this ball, the shape. So try to think a bit how the shapes are going around this head. So here we have these, maybe you can watch the anatomy videos about drawing the head. So here this head is going a bit with this shape. So this mouth is also wrapping around this. So don't think of the head like this. Think more as a shape that is more like this. And that you're the mouth is going around it. So it's wrapping around. So try to work on also with this eye. Let me try. I think I also would use some reference with figuring out how that eye looks, but yeah, that's the thing. So on our head, on our skull, we have our eye sockets, and our eyes are a bit inside those eye sockets. So you would have some space here. So like here, and even our eye is a bit behind our nose. So if you look in the mirror and you rotate your head this angle, you can see that your eye is even getting a bit behind your nose bridge. Great work, Dana. Keep it up. Let's look at Stephen. So this is a cool, cool shot. I really like it. So let me see. So again, I'm seeing this sometimes. Why do people choose for the square view? Maybe because of Instagram, I don't know. But I would actually choose for a more cinematic view, something like this here. And then I would divide this in 3 parts or 9 parts. So like this. And I would point, so in these points, these intersections are points where you want to have something interesting. It's not, you're not using every time all those points, but if we sketch this character, and I think this was really cool. He's looking at us. His head is around this point. So like this here. I would maybe also add a bit more action line here. So having this, so trying to avoid these straight lines. So this pose leaning a bit overwards, and then maybe having him point this way. Here, I think these rocks are cool, and also this tree is cool. Maybe I would add this tree, something like here. Maybe even here, or oh yeah, already did that here. So what I like about this tree is that it's also pointing to this point. So you want to have those directions. I think this building, so this one, take it and maybe make it smaller and put it somewhere here. Or I think here, this point, yeah. So that creates more. So now it's the same size as him. Can make it bigger, but yeah. I would make this size, I think. I don't like that now he is just as big as this thing. A lot of times you want to have some kind of difference between this. You can also make him small if you want to show this really big, or can make him even bigger. Maybe part of his head is going out of view, so he's bigger than this thing. So something, but that's how I think I would make a bunch of sketches like this to figure out what kind of composition I want. And soon I want to make some new composition. So now I've finalized a new ebook about drawing perspective. And later I want to make a whole book with video about composition and dive more into it. I already go a bit into that with the backgrounds ebook, but I wanted to separate that book in multiple different ebooks. And the first one that will come out is Perspective. Great work, Stephen. Let's look at Brandon. So I think this is from, how's that, Westwold. I really liked season, especially series, especially season 1. I want to check out season 3. I think it just released, but he's a really cool character. Let's look at the construction of this head. I really like it. I think you did a great job on that. So here we have this head, its nose, its nostrils. So I think you did great. I think the likeness is really great. So I don't think I have anything to say about that. You did also a great job on the construction of these shapes. It's really funny, these glasses. There's so much space between the, yeah, here you can see it's just a tiny hole here. And here's this almost 1/3 is for the nose. But yeah, that's just how he is. Maybe we can put those eyes more here, more to the side, so it aligns more with the glasses. I don't know, I think that could work. Give it a little bit more space between the eyes. It's not even that important. I'm also just trying, when I'm giving feedback, I'm also just on the go. I'm trying to give some feedback. The hair, I like it, but if this is the skull, think about the distance of that hair and how this hair should wrap around that head, especially here. So this line also here, and then if we add this middle line, then I really have this eye looks fine. This eye, I think we can move this eye a bit to the side. And that also would help a bit with the glasses. So think about how is this all attached on it with construction. I think this mouth's also more on this line here. And this seems fine. And draw this hair. Also here, I think this hair could also follow a bit more here, this shape, so that you get more this direction. So you want to have this shape here. So I would add it a bit like this. I don't know, then it gets some direction to it. Also here, these wrinkles, if he has wrinkles, try to think about how is this constructed on the head. Nothing is flat, especially not these wrinkles. So try to think about that. Try to think about how this all is constructed. Also, this glass has some thickness, right? How thick is the glass, and so on. There's also a part that catches light, so that would also catch some light. Lightning is really cool. Let's see. Maybe you can. So also think about maybe some highlights. Did it in the eyes, but here this would also be a highlight. And oftentimes here you see this. Here on the nose is often highlight, and maybe a bit here as well. So you can see this on this drawing, or on this photo. You see these highlights on certain pads. These glasses are matte, but they still have some catching some light on the top side here, and also here at the bottom. Maybe you can use here, and now it looks a bit like there's no glass inside this. So if you make this selection, take a soft brush, and draw it a bit in. And you get that reflection there. So yeah, cool. Great work. Maybe here you can see with the hair, there's also this part that's going a bit here to the front. So maybe, I don't know if this is how you would want it, but that also creates some kind of side here, so that could help. So then you have this here. But this part could help with that. Great work, Brandon. And yeah, just keep practicing this. It's great. Look at some reference on Pinterest. You can find a lot of head painting reference as well. But awesome work. Keep it up. Let's look at Nata for this. I think this book cover looks really great. So what I would suggest, maybe a couple of things. The thing I noticed first is this water from this waterfall. Here it is exactly the same. I think it would look more interesting if you maybe have one part that's a bit wider like this here. Then there's this part that is a bit thinner like this here. And then maybe there's some space. That's then maybe something like this. We make this part even wider. But here, let me show this. So here we have this. So here is a rock, maybe. Also here this rock has almost, it's all symmetrical. So here I'm showing a little side. Near this more this shape. So I'm trying to find some more interesting shapes there. And also here, so this is big, small, and then this is medium. And I think that looks more interesting than if it's exactly the same. So try to watch out for that. Seeing you're doing that same here. So try to play around with it. I do like that you have this angle here, so that's cool. So maybe you can also add a bit of an angle here as well. So that's cool. Also, if put these colors, gray tones, I think the background could be maybe the background of sorry. So this background could maybe be a bit lighter or something. And that's of the atmospheric perspective. So, and then you can make sure that these characters pop out more. Maybe there's some highlight here as well around his head. So here. So that's why I also often only use white. I try not to use white, and then for some parts I really can use some, not white, but really light colors to stand out things more. And maybe you can even make some parts even a bit darker. So it can be really useful to look in values first. You can see if I'm giving everything a bit of value here. So extra. So I'm still, yeah, I would also need some time to figure that out. But this can help create some depth. So maybe try to draw your painting first in value, and then have the most contrast in the front characters and less in the back. So great work, Nate. Let's go to Vivi. So great sketch, awesome work. Let's look. So here, make this brush hard again. So let me see. So like this head going like this. So the action line is something like this. Here we have this angle and this angle. So I like that. It's also because of the weight of this face. So it's getting pushed down here, this shoulder. So that's really good. I would imagine if I would hold this face, here, this water, maybe this thing has this part here. And normally water wouldn't go out like this. It would more go like this. Think of the gravity. So think about how this goes out of this object. Also think of her hand is going, so this object has this cylinder kind of shape. So her hands should also wrap a bit around it. So think about how these hands are going around this object. Try to think really 3D. Also with the head feels a bit too flat. So try to think about construction. So how, so the head is not totally flat. There's some things wrapped around the head. And also using a bit of this side. And you can let her look at this point. What I like about it is that you let her look at this object. Then you get this effect that she's looking. You're going to follow the eyes to this. So then you also have this effect again. So this helps with bringing the attention back to the eyes. And then you have the arm. And then you have this. So that can create all flow you want, because you want to get the eyes here. So that's why I like to use the eyes to watch as an object, not to let it look at us. But that's a choice you can make. Try to use this construction also for the body. No, I think that's fine. So here she's standing like this or something. So yeah, those are some things, and I really like your sketch. Main thing is that try to think about this construction of the object. So how are things wrapping around those shapes? Great work, Vivi. So let's go to Avi for this cool character. So let's make this smaller. So I like it. So what I also like is that you have this angle. Here, these angles in this character design is really cool. I really like the legs are really good. So use these, also these lines here with these overlapping lines like this here. Maybe you can even draw a bit of the knee and draw the shoe here. So try to think about how are these shapes, lines wrapping around. Watch out for these straight lines, even if it's side profile. Try to draw these construction shapes to figure out how that's all is. Also think about this floor. Is this feet in the front or is this in the back? Think about the perspective character stands on. So I want you to think about the construction of this this character. So here's this knee. And here we have this. And I think these arms are a little bit thin. So maybe make them a bit wider. Great job on the hands. So think about this construction, and I play some anatomy videos on my Patreon. Maybe you can watch those to for some tips about this. But I really like the drawing. I think some proportions, especially on the. I think if you fix the arms, that would really help help a lot. Also with clothing, try to think how is this. So this, if this shirt is this high, then it would go maybe like this here, and would look maybe more like this if you have this type of shirts. But keep it up, Avi. Also, from you, I would love to see some sketches where you show more that construction and the thought process also. So, GR Dell, great work. Also, cool storytelling. I'm wondering, what are these two dots? Are those lasers or something? Maybe it's cool if you could add some, maybe something like this. There's this robot silhouette that is trying to searching her. I don't know, something. Let me see. So let me set this up. So here, perspective is going here and here. So this would be the perspective we want to use. Also for legs, so here, here. So this is the perspective also for this part. So it also helps with how's the character standing on this behind on this against this wall. So maybe. So when you're sketching, try to draw through your shapes as well. You can get really messy. So maybe you have this angle here. Maybe their hand is really flat against this wall. So try to use this construction. Also here, this is, I think this works better if you're, maybe you can show a bit of the side of the gun. So you have this box where you can draw the gun in, and then maybe show a bit of the side, and then you can still draw the hand here. And how would you hold your thumb like this here? So something like this. fingers, etc. So like this here. So I think that would look a bit better than you only showing the side. So really think about how are these things constructed, and I think your drawing is really great. So think about that construction, and then if you then have this, then you can draw on the jacket on top of that, and etc. But first draw through your shapes and draw the construction behind it. But awesome work. This could be really cool. Maybe you can even make this like it's a shot out of a movie. So here you have this robot that also helps her. Maybe this robot's also against this wall, like this here. Can still hold this card. I don't know, maybe he's doing this or something. And then this wall. Maybe it's a counter or something. I don't know. Did you have part here? Then maybe there's some objects here and there. Maybe there's an object here. And then this robot is searching. So like this here. I don't know what it is. But this robot is searching or something. And then you draw on a whole background. Could be cool. Could be a cool noir detective kind of shot. Also work Junior Dell. And like everyone, thanks for sending me your artwork. And if you want, again, feedback for next week, just send me some artwork. So this week I did the interview, and next week I will do another lesson plus feedback to everyone who wants, who will send their artwork to me. So thanks everyone, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye bye.